Hello and welcome to it. This is it and welcome to it. Hello. Testing. And welcome to it. This is it and welcome to it. Hello. Testing. Welcome to it. This is it and welcome to it. Hello. Testing. Welcome to it. This is it and welcome to it. Okay, so this is the June 2023 monthly update. It's been a very productive month. I've forgotten to get something, so I'll be right back. I'll leave you with this feedback and echo. Hello, blah 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 blah. Monthly update. It's been a very productive month. I've forgotten to get something, so I'll be right back. I'll leave you with this feedback and echo. Hello, blah 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 blah. It's been a very productive month. I've forgotten to get something, so I'll be right back. I'll leave you with this feedback and echo. Hello, blah 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 blah. Okay. Sorry about that. So, like I said, it's been a very productive month. I'm going to start out showing you some paintings that I've done. Because I haven't put these online yet. So, I'm going to do that now. So, I'm going to show you them. I'm going to show you them in the order that I've finished them, not in the order that I've started them. So this first one was painted from the 25th of last month to the 22nd of this month. It's called Man in Tree. Okay, this next one was painted from the 24th to the 26th of this month. This one is my favourite one that I've done in this batch that I'm showing you. It's called The Pool at the End of the Universe. Okay, this next one is the only abstract one I've done this month. It was painted entirely yesterday, the 29th. It's called Dentist's Office. And this last one is both untitled and unfinished, but I don't know if I will ever finish it because I'm not totally happy with it at all. So I'm just going to show it here just in case it never gets finished. It was started on the 17th this month. And it's a pseudo self-portrait. So that's that. Those are the paintings that I've done. I've done a few Moid releases. The first one is called Cloud Pieces. I believe I talked about it last time because I'd come up entirely with the idea. I just hadn't done it yet. So that's that. It's I can't even remember that. Basically, I just recorded some stuff for the first song and then ran that through my amp again and recorded that for the final 3. So each song is the previous one ran through the thing. So there's that. Then I did a single called One-Eyed Gentleman, which is another experimental thing. It's not very good, but I had it. And because the next album that I'm doing, which is going to be called Walking, or Walk In, with an apostrophe, it's going to be more normal songs. And so I did it, and it didn't really fit, so I thought I might as well. That's basically what I'm going to be doing from now on. Unless it's an experimental album, all the albums are going to be not normal, or as normal as I can make them. And the experimental songs I'm just going to release as tracks on their own, which is that. Then I released a single, which is going to be... Both these songs are from the upcoming album that I just mentioned, Walking. And they're 2 songs called This World Ain't It and Another Awful Day. I'm very happy with them. They're not perfect, but I'm happy with them. So they're up there. I have now completed also, just yesterday, the entire first side of the next album. So depending on how long I'm going to make it, I don't know. Because my initial idea was to maybe make it a triple album. But I thought that's a bit much. And I thought maybe a double album, but I'm not sure. So it will either be a single or a double, depending on how I feel when I've done the next side. Once I've done side 2, if I think it works, I'll just release it, and if I don't, I might make it a double. But anyway, those songs are going to be on that album when it comes out. But that's just to sort of get people excited for it. Hasn't worked, but you never know. I have been told by the internet that if you're going to release an album, you should release singles from it leading up to it to tell people about it. So that's what I'm going to do, even if it doesn't work. I don't care. And then I've done a short film called Self Portrait, which I'm also very happy with. Basically, it's just a shot of me in black and white with a load of noise, because I shot that pretty much with all the lights in my room off, and then really increased the contrast and brightened it, which is why it's such a noisy image. And then I did a film quite a while ago called Talk, which had a thing where I had the mirror and I set my screen to red, and I had the mirror and was reflecting it into the camera, and I basically did that again, but 6 times with different colours for this film, and overlaid them on top of the picture of me. And that's what that film is, and I'm very happy. And the soundtrack to that film is the song Electric Piece from the Sound Pieces album, which I talked about last month. So that's that. So that's everything I've done this month. Things I've watched this month. Quite a wide variety of things. Some documentaries. I've actually watched 3 documentaries this month. At least documentaries that I haven't watched before. The first, I watched the 9/11 documentary, which, I mean, there's many 9/11 documentaries, but this is the 9/11 documentary, with the one where that was actually being shot before it happened, and then when it happened, it started out as a firefighter documentary, and it turned into a 9/11 documentary as 9/11 happened. And it's a very good documentary. It's very... Well, I mean, you know, it's just... I think it's a film that people should see. And so that's that. Then I watched... or started watching... Last month, I watched... this month. This is this month. What am I talking... I've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've finished this month seasons 1 and 2. I've also started season 3. Because basically I had watched this, not when it came out, because I found out that actually one of the episodes on the first season actually broadcast on my first birthday. April 8th, 2005. Because I was born April 8th, 2004. But basically, when I was younger, not when it came out, but when I was younger, I started watching the show because me and my brother had this app, which I don't know how it worked. It's probably illegal, but it had a load of films and TV shows on it. And I watched it, and I know I got to season 3 because I remember Aang with the hair and Sokka makes his sword out of a meteorite. So I remembered those bits, but I don't remember how it ends. So I thought I should rewatch it. I didn't remember much, so it's pretty much like I'm watching it the first time, which is why I added it to there. But season 3 was actually the first, to my knowledge. I mean, I may well have finished it. I can't. It's a bit warm. It's warmer today than it was yesterday. Anyway, it's a good show. You should all watch it. One thing I have noticed about it is that the animation, at least earlier on, it's gotten better now where I am in season 3. But at the start, the animation was actually pretty bad. I mean, the show was always good, the plot and everything. But I mean, like the backgrounds were always really nice, like of well painted things. But then the actual characters themselves were these really basic outlines, and it's actually really jarring. So the animation was actually pretty bad at the start of the show, which is something I hadn't noticed when I watched it originally. But that's because I was a child when I watched it originally. Then I started season 1 when it says there, and I started season 2 after the next thing. But I thought because they're the same thing, really, I thought I'd just put them there. I thought I was going to sneeze then, but I didn't. Now I watched another documentary. This one is a more traditional documentary. It's not like the 9/11 where it's there at the time. This is a post-happening documentary. It's called The US versus John Lennon. It's released in 2006. And it is basically going through all the times John Lennon got in trouble with the US government. Or with the US in general. And it happened a lot, because the intentions of John Lennon and the intentions of the US government were always entirely opposed, so they didn't get along very well. But it's a really, really good doc. It focuses mainly on his activities between 1969 and 1973. That's the main focus. But it's really about his whole life. Or it touches on his whole life at brief moments, but the main focus of it is on that era. His most political era is 69 to 72. So there's that. And then I watched the Sweet Toronto documentary talking about John Lennon in 1969. This was from the Live Peace in Toronto thing. Or the album that came from this was called Live Peace in Toronto. But this is, not only is this the Plastic Ono Band performance, but it also includes the performances, or at least one performance by each of the other classic rock and roll 50s people. So you have Chuck Berry and Little Richard and the guy, whatever his name was, the white guy, can't remember what his name, and Bo Diddley. What was the guy's name? Jerry Lee Lewis. Forgot his name. And something I noticed about it is the classic rock and roll guys in the film really aren't very good. And I know they can be because I've heard like the classic recordings of them, and they are good. But for some reason, for this film, they just weren't maybe they didn't have enough rehearsal, because I know the Plastic Ono band didn't have much rehearsal, but they still at least managed to play an actual show. These are the other guys, they were just like really, really rough. I mean, Chuck Berry cannot play his guitar in this film. I don't know if he was drunk, don't know if he was on drugs, but he could not play his guitar in this film. So it's, but I do like it because it's because there's kind of 3 stages of the film, and it's kind of like the past, present, and future as far as 1969 was concerned of rock and roll. Because you have the classic 50s guys, that's the past, and then you have John Lennon's songs, and that's the present of rock and roll, and then you have Yoko Ono, which was the future. Because I mean, this is 1969, and she's making music that sounds like it came from the late 70s. Like her in the late 60s made what Pell made in the late 70s, really. So it was the future. Even though it didn't go worldwide, you didn't have millions queuing to listen to Yoko Ono, but still, she sounded like the future. People didn't know that at the time, but people in the late 70s listening back were like, oh yeah, this is what people are making now. So it really is, it's good. So it's a very good film and everyone should watch it. Then, things I've listened to this month. Continuing from the thing we started last month, I listened to another album by The Stranger, which is Leland Kirby's, one of his other pseudonyms. This is Bleak Love from 2008. I can't remember anything about this album. Let me just have a quick listen through. Noise. It's okay, I guess. I probably think the same bit of what I thought of the last album, so you should listen to my review on that, which I did last month. And then I listened to John Lennon Walls and Bridges for the first time, 1974. His last album of original music of the 70s. Very good. I didn't enjoy it as much as Mind Games. Well, but then again, I didn't really enjoy Mind Games that much on my first listen either. But I've been listening recently. I've been listening through to Mind Games again. I think it's now probably become one of my favorite, if not my favorite, John Lennon solo album. And so listening to this, I've re-listened to some of the songs on this, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. But I haven't given it a full album listen through yet since I first listened to it this month. But still, good. Anything else I've missed? Plans for next month. Missed out that. Plans for next month. Do more of what I've done this month, I guess. How long have I been going for? 19 minutes. That's not a lot, is it? Might do a bit of news. I haven't done news in a while. Let's go to BBC. Right. Next. Okay. It's just nonsense going to school and getting naked in front of children. Nothing new. See you guys later.